he pushes in. Point gets captured now to start by the Outlaws, and Agilities is trying to help his team gang up on Meko. The Defiant definitely had a target in mind, but in chasing them down, they lose a couple players. Agility's getting rid of Lynx through to the middle of the map, and the Outlaws have to give this ground up.
The Defiant, they give up the point early, but they push through with that Reinhardt, and they get extremely aggressive, and that's what you need to do with the Rhine in this type of composition. The Sigma one, they want to sit around the point, they want to play around the Mei. Muma, who gets onto the point first, they take control of it.
Well, it's tough to break back into this map against double shield. Main wall will cover off the right-hand side, and Evix gets blown up. Beast, though, that's the Amplification Matrix and Fire Strike combo at once.
I was going to say, it's a nice volley of orbs from Repel through the Amp Matrix that sets up the Outlaws to get that first pick off, but then Beast with a Fire Strike.
Fortify gets him out of trouble, to be fair. Molten Core is thrown down by the Defiant defensively, but it's an offensive blizzard from Dante, and now he showers underneath that Immortality field, but he's taken down. Yes, the Immortality field expired, and the Molten Core eventually got him. Dante must have forgotten where he was standing because he had that Immortality. Huge shatter. That 3 now, but a Transcendence immediately is going to get brought in there by Repel. A hefty, a meaty shatter from Beast. And it's 99-33, and Toronto are looking to take the point back. Jexter's in trouble.
Yeah, as Toronto's going to come back with the Lucio on spawn as well. Kellex, he'll have a sound barrier if need be, but won't even need it here. As Dante coming out, he's going to have to ice block just to stay alive. And this should be the Toronto Defiant putting it away, but Meko's able to get one.
Eventually taken down. It was Logic's turret that deals with the Wrecking Ball, and Toronto starts strong. Reinhardt and Orisa keep him charged up, otherwise he has to reload like that. And he's trying to make his way forward here. The classic aggressiveness of Jexter that was able to get him a kill, but a cheeky double turret behind by Logix snaps the kill up on Linksa. Meko keeps himself alive for just a moment, but Logix pushes past the bubble.
And I really love that Mei wall from Agilities there. It's the Toronto Defiant, they put down...
It's more comfortable. Agilities, though, has Blizzard available. That's the shatter. It is, and that is filth. Muma steps straight through the barrier and gets himself at least 4 with that shatter. Over to the point we go. And the Houston Outlaws now in a much more commanding position.
Yeah, Muma goes through the TP and immediately lands a shatter there.
Dante still gets there though, so he's able to control Summit to the Defiant's front line. Logix now, gonna throw his wall up, but that's a shatter. It's huge! It's 5 knocked down for the Houston Outlaws. The Reinhardts on either side of the map are getting a ton of value, but it's the rest of Beast's comrades that are enabling him to do it. The Defiant now are up to 80%. Alright, splits the Defiant. They don't all go there. Dante can't get in though, and Muma's caught behind a wall, and that's it. That's the death knell. The Outlaws again try and get close to the point by using a teleporter, but it's predictable. It's very telegraphed, and the Defiant just wait for Muma to show his spiky helmeted head, and they cut him off the rest of his team. Map number 1, side of the breach, and these two teams now are standing at 20 paces and firing with their handguns, old Civil War style. Agilities goes down. Already 2 ticks on the point for Toronto, though. Because of this rotation, the Outlaws are a little bit concerned about stepping foot on the point. But once they've committed, the fight goes pretty well. Beast is hit with the Discord Orb, and there's an Immortality field now placed up, and it's Linksa and Dante from the high ground getting the job done. 3 for Linksa. And once the Outlaws decide to go, everyone seems on the same page.
Is where Beast had an opportunity to push straight through the Orisa shield and just didn't do it. Kind of got stuck in a little bit of a dance on the point. Taking a look from Linksa's POV. Nice shots from Linksa.
The Dragon Strike now. Linksa earned that in the previous fight from doing so
They're
much
so
work,
weak.
and everybody gets caught in the flux. Meko making pancakes out of the majority. They have nothing to safely bait a Mei wall though, so they had to go together and fast. Okay, that Mei wall is alright. It doesn't actually split Toronto up effectively. It slows them down a little bit, but maybe that's what they want. Shore4 turns around with that Molten Core and makes it a very dangerous place to stand, but Repel was quick on the trigger finger with the Transcendence. He falls, and everyone's going to burn down now!
They had to,
The Outlaws were held in place, but they had the healing, which was fine, until Transcendence expired. Then Shore4 gets 3, and they finally break through.
Well, it was also...
His irritation's so great that he goes for the Earth Shatter, and it's easily brushed off by Dante, who then goes for the Blizzard. And that's about as big as an outplay as you're going to see.
Oh, it's a sick play from Dante. I do want to say from the Outlaws, though, their positioning is so much better there than it was on Nepal. And Lynx are just racking up the headshots. But
Dante is the drop down.
How is he alive?
The Beast wasn't watching him.
Okay.
No one was looking at Dante after it dropped.
Yeah.
The attention of the Defiant was split. They still get the Immortality field here, though, and that Gravitic Flux is shrugged off. Meko finds no luck there.
There was a part of me that thought Dante was going to live through that when he gets the Harmony Orb and he pushes in through the back. But the Outlaws trying to contest this one final stand here for the Outlaws. Muma will fall. There goes Meko shortly after. Their point B defense falls apart, where They do hold everybody top back up. Puts them over the line just a little bit as Meko now with the Gravitic Flux could put it away.
Oh my gosh, that AoE freezing coming out there, it's so brutal, and Dante is abusing May to a fullest extent. He is finally punished for that, but at what cost? The Defiant lost 3 to the May in that corner, and the Outlaws managed to prevent Toronto from finishing the map.
Now the Outlaws sit in a position,
He'll be trying to shut down Dante the second he comes into view. That's an amplification matrix, and Dante goes for a tumble. Raucus, well, he had used Valkyrie, so he could have got back to the rest of his team, but Kareem shuts him down. Kareem with 7 final blows for this map, Matt. That's as many as Shawfall has. Filling his role as a dual DPS and support player, and given his history as a Widow player, that shouldn't be a surprise. But what
a little bit of
would you say it's a zoning ultimate?
Zoning ultimate, you can almost look at it as like a Bobbit, a little bit of a taunt mechanic there.
Dante gets 1. Now there's mercies on both sides, so Resurrects are still a factor here. Nevix gets rid of Repel. Raucus trying for the Resurrect, and he gets it! Shawfall's able to shut him down immediately after, though. Dante not affected by the Dynamite. Now going to take the 1v1 against Shawfall. Or so we thought. Thinks better of it. Still has the high ground. Shawfall probably doesn't fancy being down here. He needs to find the last pick, and he does. He didn't even have to scope in for it. Moving now is going to be sat on that low ground. That's that pick. That's Kareem down. Linksa finds his target. There's still Calyx alive for the healing, though. But the Outlaws are set up on the point here. They get a wall to prevent the Defiant from even touching. And Moomer is sat here, proud as you like. Shawfall, though, he's on the flank. He lets the Bob go. He gets 2 with that one. Looking for a little bit more. Finally, Bob succumbs, but Shawfall is still swinging for the fence. High ground seems Repel struggling to find a way down. And no one's going to fish the Outlaws out of that team to return. Supercharger used quite far back here, and the Defiant are very slow and moving on to this point. Beast looks like he's able to stave off a little bit of the slow with the Fortify, but eventually gets frozen up. He does have a Discord Orb on him, but the damage has been done elsewhere. Nevix just windmill slams Repel into the ground, and the Defiant will have this point A.
Yep, it'll be Dante just coming on for a little bit extra stall, but that'll be it as Toronto. They finally break it. Although it does take a while. They did get that first blood on Amuma there.
In there, Dante's going to use the Ice Block, try and back away. He throws up an Ice Wall for his own protection, and now the Defiant stand inside their own Blizzard. But Beast is taken down. Repel's able to get the Discord Orb and the finish off. And Raucus is undetected, essentially, in this corner, or at least unharried for the time being.
Oh, well.
That was short-lived. That was short-lived indeed. The Defiant eventually able to break through here, Matt. Now, do they have the numbers to move to point? No.
Now, they're going to have to back out here. One more player for Toronto on the point. That'll be Agilities. Just charges down Muma. But Toronto
attempted to be thrown in. He was halted into an arrow from Shawfall, and Lynx's Dragon Strike doesn't really find the mark. The Outlaws had to be very careful here, but they've got a lot of ultimates to work with, and that Blizzard is perfect into the Gravitic Flux. But Meko's got more work to do on the backside because Nevix has come through off from the wings, catches Raucus with an accretion, dodges Meko's. Meko looking a little bit low, trying to sit behind his shield here, but Lynx has returned to the fight, gets his revenge on Shawfall. It's going to have to take more from the Hangzhou now, though, as 1 tick has been accrued for the Defiant, and Lynx had to fight 1v4. Kareem set up on the point, wrecking balls now into the fray. Both Muma and his opposite number Beast attempted, but can't touch in time. And the Outlaws are doing a much better job here of creating opportunities and now a player advantage. It's a 6v5, and the Outlaws, as a result, take center stage. They move to the high ground, and they get rid of Beast.
The Outlaws have a much better composition to break these shields with the Hangzhou in play and the Zenyatta. It's really difficult as we don't really see the Ashe do anything there on that first point, but it's really not the Ashe. Hell with a headshot on the Surefour range, so you lose your main source of damage for Toronto.
Good catch though on Linksa though, Matt. That was the combination between Nevix and Agilities. But Dante and Raucus starting to get involved, and now this could be over very quickly for Toronto. They're going to be shoved off the point here. Right in the backline, Repel has been dishing death. 6 final blows for Repel. That's more than Dante has this round. And the Outlaws have an immense time bank to work with. Shawfall slammed to the ground. Kinetic Grasp now being used by Meko. Will he get caught by the Dragon Strike? A lot of damage there. And the Toronto Defiant still trying to keep some players on the point, but Calyx gets halted out into the line of fire. That's a desperation Gravitic Flux. And they are thrown down into an immortality field, but Raucus and Repel aren't lucky. They don't stay alive, and now Shawfall's able to find Muma, and this is over for Houston.
Oh, they're able to bring it back. Nevix coming in with 2 kills, the Gravitic Flux. They're able to get another one.
The most out of this amplification matrix. Dante's forced to Ice Block on the point though, and here come the rest of the Outlaws now. As soon as Dante raises the signal flare, the rest of them move up. Dante going now for a freeze on the right-hand side and combining it with that endothermic blast. That means it's a very quick slow, and there it is. 3 minutes 56 on the clock for Houston. They are way ahead on Paris.
And Houston,
A little bit. Throws the shield out, but the high ground is still controlled by Houston. Yeah, and look what happens. Houston realized that the Defiant, they choose to split themselves up, so they just collapse on one half of the team, and Shore4 is lost at sea, halted now through the doorway, straight headfirst into an icicle, and that will be it. The Defiant will not make any more ground on this map.
and where the McCree comp wins out over the...
We'll go back to next time, that's for sure. He doesn't have their best interests at heart, but I mean, Houston, yeah, he does. Maybe take pity on them for getting kicked out of their house in the Woodlands. Shout out to the Woodlands residents. You guys are no fun. Link's now going to sit back behind this light pole here, but that first pick really opens things up. That is it. Houston Outlaws, again, on the back of Linksa, crack the Defiant open and get themselves a map in this series.
Yeah, Houston looked like a
Big part of them getting the win there. So what can he do here? Oh my! Well, Kareem gets blown up. He couldn't get away. It was a one clip from Dante, though. That much is certain. And he's already gotten 2 supports down.
Is he invisible?
Look at the Defiant crumble, dude. Hello?
All right. Well, Dante just blinks into the...
I don't know if it's interrupted or not. It's a little bit hard to say. There doesn't really seem to be anything that would do that. But Agility's able to find Dante there with a Blizzard. Meko is caught out, and now the Toronto Defiant, well, they found their feet. Instead of Pizza Shop, they went for Poutine, and it seems to suit them much better.
Yeah, I think what happened with Meko is that he just ran... He went so far away the opposite direction. He got so far away.
Because he dropped away from that immortality field. Linksa spots the turret on the left side, needs to spend some time dealing with that. That's a 3-player Gravitic Flux, but they're all healthy. And they just get healed up as soon as they touch the ground. Shore4's turret is down, and that is a long-range Blizzard thrown out by Dante. Risky indeed, but there's no Divas to eat it up right now, and that'll net him the kill on Nevix. Agilities doesn't have the ice block right now, and he can't stay alive, but at least he gets the trade. Shore4 down, but Agility's also falling. And there it is, finding Linksa is Shore4, staying alive in the fight, and there's 8 seconds left. The Outlaws looks like, no. Okay, Shore4 shows
It's
some
hammer
respect,
time, yeah.
puts the hammer away. Here comes the ball swinging through Meko. Not much to be done there, and that will be pretty much the end of the Outlaws' run here. No one else to really touch Dante. All the blinks in the world couldn't get there.
And that is what we expected to see when we saw Decay play Tracer. And if you try and push something, you're running into the damage of the Hangzhou. So difficult.
Oh, that Dragon Strike. Both Amplification Matrix looks like they were used there, but it is the Dragon Strike that really sets up that fight for the Outlaws here, and they know full well one mistake could cost them the map and hence the series, so they are playing very tight. No one dropped down into that one. Kareem had to use the Transcenders to keep his team alive. Now it's going to be a supercharger from Moomer, and Agilities is down again. Dante has been so elusive, so slippery, and he works his way in from the backside. Linksa assisting, getting rid of that immortality field, and the Toronto Defiant are in deep trouble. It is, I mean, Shore4 puts himself at mid to long range from his Zenyatta. It's as close as he could get. He's able to get Linksa though. That's the first pick, but Dante was chasing him down, keeping track of him. Gets rid of him. Nevix will prolong his lifespan just a little bit longer here with that kinetic grasp, but that is it. Toronto Defiant. Oh dear, that attack is looking toothless as all heck. It has to be an ice block here just to try and keep Agilities alive. He goes for a solo Blizzard, but Dante zipping in, zipping out.
Oh,
Job
man.
done for the Outlaws. They will secure the tiebreaker. Matchmaker. Here's an Amplification Matrix, first from the Defiant, then from the Outlaws. This will be enough to break that wall down. Looks like they were looking for a hold, and that's the shatter. Beast gets caught in that one, and the Outlaws now have some momentum to work with. Jexter providing the speed and damage from the rest of them. We'll get them onto the point.
Toronto invested a lot there. I mean, they used their own
Shield in play, which is not easy to do. There's a lot of particle effects on the point and particle barriers. Boomer Shatter, there was a wall there. He still knocks Agilities to the ground, but Agilities picks himself up and has a Blizzard to go. He lets it go straight away. Boomer tries to charge away, but he leaves a safety on that immortality field now. But Agilities was on his own. He didn't realize the rest of his team were dealing with Meko in the back line, and the Defiant couldn't get there. Houston take the first round of this tiebreaker map. And the Defiant, at the end, look very messy.
Well, Toronto comes out.
All thrown up. Propel didn't use the Matrix though,
now
so
another
the Defiant
wall.
need to be a little bit careful. Yeah, every wall you've got, throw it in the way. Symmetra's now going to be charging up. They're being pretty darn fast, but there's the Shatter. Beast claims to kill on Moomer, but he loses 2 players. They've lost Logics as well, which is their main source of damage in this fight. Now Beast has less of a reason to hold his shield up. He can start swinging. There's no Symmetra to protect, but there is an enemy Symmetra barrier on the point. I don't think Beast can handle this heat.
No, it's a lot of ultimates here towards the end for the Outlaws as they'll be able to take the point. They do get a recapture here, but
Encroaching Toronto roster. There's the May wall from the Outlaws though. Nevix gets around it. The Outlaws stay together as 6, and now they've got that amplification matrix. A lot of players able to benefit from that, and a shadow from the off angle. Moomer is able to catch Meko. Looking for Nevix there as he tries to charge him down, but Agilities has found 2. Repel, he's in trouble. Nice flank, and that's the 3rd kill from Agilities, keeping his team single-handedly in this round. Logix is in trouble. He can't stop the freeze. Kellex comes through for 2. And Toronto maybe broke into this point a little bit easier than we thought they would.
Yeah, it's a beautiful blizzard from Agilities. Then he picks up 2 kills as he takes a little bit.
Looking for that reverse sweep, and they're close. They can smell it. Here's a blizzard from Agilities to start the fight off here. They want to go aggressive. Flashbang catches Moomer. He tries to shatter, but Logix definitely sidesteps, and Moomer can't find anything else outside of Agilities. Logix finds another one here. He's trying to keep his team in the fight. He's only got Beast on the point. He needs to get Repel. Another one. 3 from Logix, but he can't touch the point. And the Houston Outlaws complete.